Rob Gravitt leading, Rouse, Walker, Harvey, Bristow, Mike Smith. On to Fulston chicane, second gear, 60 miles an hour. Looking back at Andy Rouse in second position. Going up towards Druids. That's a third gear, right-hand corner at about 80 miles an hour. And as they go round Knickerbrook, Andy Rouse is challenging Rob Gravitt, coming up to Druids. And Rouse is going through. No, he's not. He dropped back a bit. Underneath the bridge at Knickerbrook. Now they're at Druids. Gravitt, Rouse, Sean Walker, Harvey, Bristow in fifth position. And Rouse is attacking again, and this time he does go through. And Harvey goes past Walker up into third position. Tim Harvey, number 3 on the left. So it's Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey, Walker, Bristow, rounding Lodge, up through to complete the lap. Rouse, Harvey has gone past Rob Gravitt up into second place. Rob Gravitt goes down to third position. It's Sean Walker 4. Now we're looking back at Walker. Walker's harrying Gravitt. He's going past. And Bristow goes through up into fourth position. Rob Gravitt down to fifth place. This is Andy Rouse leading. The master leads. And now we're with John Clelland's Vauxhall Cavalier, and he's not at all happy. He's been passed by Graham Goode's Ford Sierra, approaching Shell. And back at Druids, there's Kelvin Burt in the BMW. A superb 7th, leading the 2-litre formula in his first drive for the BMW Junior team, ahead of Frank Sidner and John Clelland there in the Vauxhall Cavalier. And that is the first race for the 2-litre Cavalier. And he's third in class, John Clelland. There he is. Down to Cascades, a superb drive by 22-year-old Kelvin Burt. He won his place in the 3-man BMW Junior team from over 70 applicants. He was by far the fastest 2-litre car in practice, and now he's driving like a veteran to lead the 2-litre formula. Losing very little ground to the vastly experienced Graham Goode in his 560 horsepower Ford Sierra. And Burt's faster in the 2-litre, 260 horsepower ballasted and rev-limited BMW than last year's 2.3-litre, 320 horsepower BMW. And now the first race gremlins are appearing. Ray Arms out with his 1600cc Honda Civic. Rob Gravitt's teammate Mike Smith into the pits with the second Trackstar Ford Sierra. And a bit of confusion. Move up, he moves up. And it's a tyre or a suspension problem. And Bristow has caught his teammate Tim Harvey. He's closing and he goes through to second place. Lawrence Bristow, number 10, up into second place, ahead of Harvey and behind Andy Rouse. Ford Sierras first, second, third, and the rest in Class A. And Mike Smith gets out of the pits. A broken roll bar is the problem, and there's nothing you can do about that. Not in the race, anyway. And where's Sean Walker? Because that's Graham Goode, up to fifth. Spitting flame. And smoking. Well, over the line goes Goode, but he's not looking at all healthy. And that's Walker. So now the order is Rouse, Bristow, Harvey, Mike Newman in fourth place, Goode fifth, Burt in the leading 2-litre car is sixth, and now Goode's blown it, literally. So Kelvin Burt will soon be in fifth position in the BMW. And that's Kelvin Burt. He is fifth overall now, and there is his teammate Frank Sidner, only just ahead of John Clelland's Vauxhall. In car with Sidner, out of Old Hall at 90 miles an hour, speed building down to Cascades. His ProDrive team have tweaked the BMW chassis over the winter, and it's going even better. Cascades, sixth place, 90 miles an hour. Burt ahead, up to Island Bend. And Kelvin Burt, there he is, leads the class on his way to Shell Hairpin. He's driving a fine, cool first touring car race for BMW. But Mike Smith's race is over. Out of the Sierra, not looking at all happy. And so's Nick Wales. Spins off onto the grass, but he'll probably regain and get going again. lights ablaze, the incomparable 41-year-old Andy Rouse from Warwickshire once again stamps his authority on the British Touring Car Championship. Rouse Engineering prepared the Ford Sierra Cosworth Turbo. Andy drove it, and once again it's victory for both. Mike Newman second, but here's Lawrence Bristow coasting and smoking in third on the last lap. Can he finish? Kelvin Burt can. Victory in the 2-litre class with a new lap record. And Bristow just makes it third and straight off the course.
What happened today was that the opposition all fell to bits. I mean, they've obviously had problems of some sort or other. I mean, they're all on the pace, so they're all a worry. Today we were lucky. Yesterday we were unlucky.
Andy Rouse gets off to a confident winning start in the championship, and he hasn't done that for a couple of seasons. Mike Newman second, Lawrence Bristow limping in about a car's length ahead of Tim Harvey. Performance of the race, though, that debut 2-litre Formula win of Kelvin Burt, ahead of his team leader, Frank Sittner. This Donington round of the Esso British Touring Car Championship always lives up to its exciting potential. 1988, Win-Purse's Nissan battling Andy Rouse's Sierra Cosworth in the race that calls for compulsory driver changes over its 1-hour running time. 88 victory went to Rouse. 89, it was Tiff Needell sharing the driving with Lawrence Bristow, who scored the win that at last put Team Labatt's on the top step of the rostrum. The championship continues to command budgets that can rise towards £250,000 a car. Strangely, little of it has found its way toward Trackstar. If big backing doesn't arrive, Mike Smith and pole position man Rob Gravitt may have only a couple of races to run. Despite that, a gamble. Gravitt pairing himself for the race with a former World Rally champion, Stig Blomqvist. In the new 2-litre Formula, last year's champion John Cleland continues to pit the Vauxhall Cavalier against the hard-charging BMWs. The car is no problem. The driver changes with teammate Chris Hodgetts might be more complicated.
Well, if you do the bottom one...
I'll do the bottom one, right?
And hold it out, I'll try and bang these two in. Okay? Yeah, right.
The 2-litre Formula is the shape of the championship to come, and the BMW Junior team are providing the future stars. Kelvin Burt on the left, an outstanding class winner in the opening round at Alton Park, and Kurt Luby, who'll be partnering both Burt and the experienced and very committed former champion Frank Sittner. Class A pole position to the underfunded Gravitt and Blomqvist, alongside the leading Labatt's runners Tim Harvey and Slim Borgood. Andy Rouse, Alton Park winner, renews the partnership with David Sears. They won here 2 years ago. Further down, Thomas Mazzera, the Bathurst winner, partners Lawrence Bristow. And the leading 2-litre class runners, Frank Sittner and Kurt Luby, they've qualified alongside Mike Smith and Graham Hathaway on the 4th row. Round 2 of the Esso British Touring Car Championship. Commentator at Donington, Murray Walker.
60 minutes of Donington's 2.5-mile laps, an hour's very hard racing. And Sean Walker in the Sierra Cosworth, third from the left, makes a real flower of a start to lead Rob Gravitt's White Sierra. But Rob leads into Redgate. And there's Walker's car, but we're in front with Gravitt. 120 miles an hour through the Craner curves. Down to the old hairpin, Gravitt, Walker, Thomas Metsera, Andy Rouse, and it's Thomas Metsera, the Czech from Australia, if you see what I mean, ahead of us, winner of the Bathurst 1000 in 1988, and yet to get the recognition he deserves. Now up to McLean's, and Sean Walker locks up. Metsera in third position, but Andy Rouse is going for it, and cleanly through on the inside goes multiple British champion Andy Rouse up into third position. In car with Metsera, and now we can watch how Andy Rouse drives, trying to catch Sean Walker ahead of him. Up to Coppice, 4th gear, over 100 miles an hour, out of Coppice, down the straight at 125. Gravitt leads, Walker second. There is Rouse in third place, Metsera behind him. Mike Newman in the Black Sierra is in 5th place. Then it's Harvey 6th, Mike Smith in 7th place. Down to Melbourne Corner. In car with Metsera. And there is the gap ahead. Gravitt leading, Walker second, Rouse locks up, tyres smoking, third position, with Metsera in 4th place, up to Goddard. And there they go, Rouse, Metsera, Harvey, Newman, Mike Smith. Now, there is Newman with Mike Smith right behind him. Mike Smith closing up and going for it, and he hits Newman. Newman off. Both of them stop. Sytner goes through, and two more BMWs, and another. Mike Smith has stopped. Mike Newman backing up. Well, what rotten luck for Newman, who went so well at Alton Park. He's rejoined in 17th place, and Mike Smith looks as though he's not going anywhere. Old Hairpin, Rouse third, Metsera fourth, Tim Harvey, number 3, in 5th position. And sure enough, Mike Smith is parking it. He's out of the race already. And here's a replay. On the left, Newman. Mike Smith very optimistic, going for it on the inside, missing it completely, brakes hard, contact, pushes Newman out of the way. They both stop, and Mike's race is finished. And look at Mike Newman on the right. He's blasted past Jerry Marnie up to 13th place. Craner curves, 120 miles an hour. Bellum ahead of Mike Newman. And Bellum in the Sierra goes onto the grass. Newman goes through, up into 12th position, and at McLean's there's a terrific battle for leadership in the new 2-litre formula. Sytner in the BMW leading Cleland in the new front-wheel drive Vauxhall Cavalier. Kurt Luby behind Cleland in another BMW. In car with Cleland, the 1989 British champion in a Vauxhall Astra. This is the new 2-litre Cavalier GSI. Only its second race, and he's matching the BMWs. Into the chicane, Sytner, Cleland, Luby. Luby is one of BMW's 3 junior team drivers, and like Kelvin Burt, he's proving very worthy of the place. In car with Cleland, Melbourne Hairpin, some 250 brake horsepower from the Vauxhall's twin-cam engine, chasing Sytner, keeping ahead of Luby. And there's truck racing champion Slim Borgood, waiting to take over from Tim Harvey. Number 3 is Tim Harvey, following his teammate Thomas Metsera, who is 4th. Rouse on the right is catching Sean Walker, both of them in Ford Sierras. Both Andy Rouse prepared cars, and the ex-Sports 2000 champion from Elstree is driving a fine race to stay ahead of Andy Rouse. There he is. But can he stay ahead? Rouse is definitely gaining. McLean's, Coppice, there's Walker on the left, Rouse on the right. Rob Gravitt is still leading. We're in car with Cleland, the 2-litre formula. The man from Peebles in the Cavalier is giving the 2-litre formula leader, Frank Sytner, no peace at all. Luby behind, and David Leslie is 4th, just behind Luby in another BMW. Coppice, and Cleland takes the Cavalier into the class lead, past Frank Sytner. Terrific performance. And look at the way they're both going, underneath the bridge, down towards the chicane. And now Mike Newman is coming up fast in the Black Sierra. Mike Newman is with the 2-litre leaders, up from 17th to 8th. And this is Jerry Marnie chasing Carvel's BMW, and off goes the BMW. He recovers, but he's lost 4 places. And now look at Mike Newman, alongside Cleland's Vauxhall. Frank goes through on the inside, retakes the place. Down to 8th again goes Mike Newman. But he's got the power. There is Cleland, Sytner behind him, 2-litre cars. Mike Newman, of course, is in the 2-litre turbocharged Ford Sierra Cosworth. He's got some 550 horsepower. This is his chance to use it. And he's doing just that, down to Redgate, up to 6th position, past Sytner, past Cleland, and in car, Cleland is angry about something, himself, I think. The chicane, and Walker and Rouse are still battling for 2nd position, behind Rob Gravitt. But this is it for Andy Rouse. Cleanly up to 2nd at Melbourne Hairpin. Is he? Up alongside Sean Walker on the left. Andy Rouse has got the inside position. He should get through here. And he does it. Rouse is 2nd. Walker goes down into 3rd position. But he fights back. He's got the momentum. He's got the inside line at Goddard. Rear tyres smoke a bit. They're going round absolutely together. Terrific stuff this. But Sean Walker is back in 2nd place as they go down towards Redgate. And this time, Andy Rouse has got the inside line. And if Walker doesn't move across, Andy will go up to 2nd. And he does just that. 550 horsepower, and he's using every one of them. But David Carvel isn't using any of them. Some sort of trouble with the BMW. Up comes the engine cover. David ferrets about inside, but there's 4 cars chasing for the 2-litre honours. Cleland is back in the lead of the class. Sytner is second. Then it's Kurt Luby, and behind him is the talented Scotsman, David Leslie. On go Cleland's brake lights. Sytner comes right up alongside the Vauxhall. Cleland holds the inside line, puts the power down, front-wheel drive. Sytner's got rear-wheel drive in the BMW, doesn't seem to make much difference here. Now up to Goddard, and Sytner attacks. He's bobbing about left and right, but there's no way through. Cleland leads out of the corner. Now down to Redgate, and the new Vauxhall Cavalier is sensational. It's showing the BMWs the way. Down to Redgate. Sytner attacks again, and he goes through on the inside. Frank Sytner leads the 2-litre Formula of the ProDrive team. Cheer! Craner curves. 4 cars, 1,000 horsepower. Sytner leading the class, then Cleland, Luby and Leslie in the privately owned BMW. The RAC's new British 2-litre Formula really works, and Cleland's attacking Sytner again. BMW versus Vauxhall. We're with Cleland. Sytner ahead. But this time, Frank looks as though he's going to stay there. Frank Sytner, the British touring car champion of 1988, leads the 2-litre class in his BMW from Cleland's Vauxhall. And Tim Harvey is in trouble in his Ford Sierra. He was 4th, right up with Sean Walker, but now he is obviously on his way out. And look at the 2 litres climbing the curbs. Sytner, Cleland, Luby, Leslie. This is touring car racing. And there's Kelvin Burt with the radio earpiece in place, getting ready to take over from Kurt Luby. In, says the board, but Tim Harvey is out, mountaineering his way back to the pits. And whoops, Cleland really swipes the curbs at 90 miles an hour. Graunch, something has broken. Something's broken. There goes Luby up to the class second. Well, there's the BMW. And there, past the Vauxhall, goes Leslie up to 3rd. The Cavalier is kaput, and he's touring in. Well, what rotten luck after such a terrific run. John Cleland out of the race, fine drive. More to come, I'm sure. Now, here's a replay. Up to the old hairpin. Really quick. Curb right. Curb left. Fishing for the gears, and there is no drive. Nothing to come. Into the pits comes Thomas Metsera to hand over to Lawrence Bristow. 8 seconds from stop to go, including doing up the seat belts. That is a nice one, and they haven't even lost their 4th place. So now Lawrence Bristow builds up to race pace. He won last year with Tiffany Dell. Kurt Luby comes in, second in the 2-litre class. And his junior teammate, Kelvin Burt, takes over. Into the left-hand drive car. Bit of trouble with the seat belts. 12 seconds, 4 seconds longer than Metsera and Bristow. Out of the pits goes Burt. His car was 6th before the stop, and now it is 8th. And 3rd in class behind Sytner and Leslie. Kurt Luby takes a well-earned drink. And sadly, John Cleland's race is over. And there in the white, unsponsored Sierra is race leader Rob Gravitt. No problem. So, what's wrong, John Cleland?
There is an offside, a near side drive shaft is broken. Is there anybody out there? There's a near side drive shaft broken.
Well, keep off the curbs then, John. Now, Rob Gravitt, number 11, leads, but he's yet to make his pit stop, and number 1, Andy Rouse, is second, and he is yet to stop too. Behind him, 56, Kelvin Burt, just starting his stint, and Andy is coming in. Shoulder harness off, ready for a quick exit. Into the pit lane. stop right here, Andy. And he does it. Rouse out. David Sears in. And as Sears gets ready to leave, Jerry Marnie's coming in his BMW. And there's Sears leaving. And now we're with David Sears, son of BRDC's great saloon car champion, Jack Sears. David's down to third after his stop, behind Rob Gravitt and Sean Walker. Into Redgate with half the race still to go. And that is the great Swedish World Rally champion, Stig Blomqvist, ready to take over from race leader Rob Gravitt. And Mark Hale's Mitsubishi Colt is out. He expected to have gearbox trouble, and it looks as though he has. And, excuse me, I'm afraid you can't leave it there, mate. Race leader Rob Gravitt in, with Sittner behind him. And as Sittner goes in, we go in with Rob Gravitt. Gravitt stops. Rob out, Stig in. Sittner out, Kurt Luby in. Blomqvist out again in the lead after a 10-second stop. And out shoots Luby, second in class behind Bert's BMW. But can Blomqvist hold the race lead? Gravitt reports on the car.
A lot of boost after about lap 5. And it's making a noise, but the car just seems to be doing similar times. The tyres are just brand new still. It's really good, the cars. I'm so pleased.
In car with Kurt Luby, David Sears ahead as Kurt signals he's second overall. Both of them fairly racing down to Redgate, and the experienced David Sears is really motoring, making up over a second a lap on Blomqvist. But how's Frank Sittner's race gone?
Well, I got involved obviously with Cleland at the beginning, which was fairly time-consuming. I would like to have had the clear run, but obviously if you start, you're going to be mixed up with other quicker cars. So I guess that might have cost me in true terms, maybe 3-4 seconds on the road.
Oops, that's James Shedd's Ford. It looks a bit serious, but he's still motoring. And second in class, in car with Kurt Luby. And look ahead, that's class leader Kelvin Burt in the other ProDrive BMW. And he's off. Burt's off. Not good. In the gravel trap at the old hairpin, and that's destroyed the ProDrive team's class first and second. But at least Burt's got the consolation of sharing a new class record with Kurt Luby. And it won't seem much consolation to him at the moment. So now, lap 28, and Bristow goes up to third, past Ian Flux in the Sean Walker Sierra. But look at this. Blomqvist is only 3 seconds ahead of number 1 in second place, David Sears. Down to Melbourne. And Stig is going to be held up at the hairpin by those two BMWs. He's right up with them as they come out. He has to brake almost to a standstill. David Sears goes into the hairpin. Blomqvist uses his superior power to get past the M3s, but that will have helped Sears, and James Shedd's Ford is beyond help. And the chicane again. Blomqvist and Sears, nothing in it. But catching is one thing, getting past is quite another. Their cars have got virtually identical performance. Down to the hairpin again. Blomqvist, more used to rallying than racing, is really under pressure. With well over 500 horsepower under his right foot. Up to Goddard. Andy Rouse never got the lead, and he anxiously wonders whether David Sears can. Out of Goddard, into the last lap. And Blomqvist's equally anxious team shout, go, go. Well, he's doing his best, lads, and he's doing well. But poor Rob Gravitt can only sit and worry about the lead he handed over. He is worried. Craner curves. Sears with his lights ablaze to harass Stig Blomqvist. But Stig is sticking to the racing line, and if he does that, it's going to be very, very difficult for Sears to get through. What a race for victory after 60 minutes of action. Hang on, Rob, not long to go.
Last lap.
Yes, it's the last lap. McLean's for the last time. Blomqvist leads. Sears is second. There is half a lap to go. Up to Coppice at 100 miles an hour. Into it. Blomqvist gets out first. And if he gets to the chicane first after this straight, he must win. Only seconds to go, Andy, and it's going to be close. At the chicane, Blomqvist leads. Sears second. What a finish! Down to the Melbourne hairpin. Blomqvist is still ahead. There's only the run-up to Goddard after this, and then he's done it. Down to the hairpin, hard on the brakes. Blomqvist runs a bit wide. Sears is trying to go through on the inside, but he fails. Blomqvist is ahead. He's only got up to Goddard now. He's home. He's home. But he's lost it. Blomqvist lost it. Gosh! Sears is through, just yards from the flag. Blomqvist stuck on the curb as David Sears snatches victory at the very last corner, and Rob Gravett sees all his hard work thrown away. Blomqvist recovers to finish a very unhappy second, but of course Andy Rouse is absolutely elated.
You couldn't have wanted a better finish than that, could you?
Poor Mike Smith. Both Trackstar Sierras out at the same place as Kurt Luby wins the 2-litre class of a truly memorable race. So, second overall at the end, Gravett and Blomqvist behind Andy Rouse and David Sears.
Heartbreaking moment for Rob Gravett at Donington. An acute embarrassment for rallyman Blomqvist. Last corner of the last lap. Gravett left wondering when the Trackstar luck is going to change. Second place, not good enough for a team trying to impress potential sponsors and rapidly running out of cash. Especially encouraging at this stage of the competition, the standard of racing in the 2-litre class. As he arrived at Thruxton for round 3, John Cleland felt good about events at Donington.
There was a 4-card dice for 13 laps. It was clean. It wasn't like last year at all. There was no touching and pushing, and I have to say that there were a couple of occasions where Frank could very easily have given me a nudge. I was having to go through the slow corners much slower than he wanted to, although I was going through the fast corners much quicker than he could. So we had words afterwards, and I said it was great, you know, that he didn't touch me, because we bought a lot of body panels this year just in case it was going to be a bit like last year.
But upsetting the 2-litre balance of power is the arrival of Jeff Allam, the former touring car stalwart, who's planted his newly delivered privately entered BMW ahead of the works cars on a very interesting grid. Rob Gravett on pole, alongside Andy Rouse, Gravett's Yokohama tyres probably providing the advantage. Second row Tim Harvey carrying 2 of our onboard cameras, and the hard-charging Mike Newman. Lawrence Bristow, Sean Walker on row 3, Graham Hathaway on row 4 in the ex-Mike Smith car. Cleland, looking for his first win, headed the 2-litre class runners, with Jeff Allam proudly ahead of the rest of the BMWs, including Frank Sipner and junior team member Kurt Luby. A very big bank holiday crowd at the Thruxton circuit, round 3 of the Esso British Touring Car Championship. Commentator Murray Walker.
There's a lot of worried men on the starting grid because the combination of fierce horsepower, Thruxton's abrasive surface and a really hot day is going to cause massive tyre wear. But it's a terrific start for Rob Gravett's Ford Sierra with Tim Harvey right behind him, and Jeff Allam stalled his BMW. What a start! Looking back from Rob Gravett's lead car, Tim Harvey and Andy Rouse chasing us. Campbell Corner, it's Gravett, Harvey, Rouse, Newman, Hathaway, Bristow and Walker. Out of the complex, Gravett, Harvey, Rouse, Mike Newman almost off. He tucks in again, it's Hathaway, Newman, Bristow. In car with Jerry Marney, Cleland on the left. Graham Good in the Black Sierra, blast past Kurt Luby and Frank Sipner, and there goes Cleland. It's fast and furious behind the leaders, and they're coming round to Goodwood Corner. It's Gravett, Harvey, Rouse on 3 different tyres. Yokohama, Dunlop, Pirelli. This is going to be interesting. In car with the championship leader, Andy Rouse, out of Village at 125 miles an hour, down to Brooklands, building up to 155 miles an hour. Out of Brooklands, down to Club Chicane, second gear, 70 miles an hour. Gravett in the white Sierra, then Harvey in the blue one. We're with Tim Harvey, the man who's rapidly becoming one of Britain's top drivers. And the 1989 British Touring Car champion, John Cleland in the Vauxhall, is attacking the 1988 champion Frank Sittner's BMW. And Cleland is all over the BMW's boot lid as they come out of Brooklands, down to the chicane, the fastest part of the course. Cleland is trying, he's dodging to the left, he's going to try and get past Sittner before they reach Club Chicane. He's not going to do it. Sittner's got the inside line, and Cleland's in trouble. He taps in between the two BMWs, right up on the curb. That was a very close thing for John Cleland. He completes the lap. They go into Allard, fourth gear, 100 miles an hour. Up to Campbell, and when they get to Campbell, it's slotting back into second gear. This is only Cleland's third race in the front-wheel drive Vauxhall Cavalier, but he is really flying. Well over 300 horsepower from its 2-litre engine. The Vauxhall Dealer Sport team have got it right. And behind Kurt Luby, it's Jerry Marney, Nick Baird, Ian Forrest, and Jeff Allen, up from his appalling start. Goodwood corner, and Cleland is attacking. He's attacking Frank Sittner. He's going to go through on the inside. Is he? Can Sittner hold him off? No is the answer. And John Cleland leads the 2-litre class in the Vauxhall Cavalier. Gravett, Harvey, Andy Rouse dropping back. First, second and third. Goodwood, the 2 litres. Nick Baird, Forrest and Allen. And Allen is challenging, going through on the inside, taking Ian Forrest, closing up on Nick Baird. Now, Jeff is in the ex-Italian Bugatti team BMW, and it's the only car in his class on Yokohama tyres, just like Rob Gravett. In car with Jerry Marney, ahead, Forrest, Allen and Baird. Down to the chicane. He's closing on Forrest. The BMW getting closer, and Forrest goes up on the curb. Marney goes through, he's touching Forrest, and Forrest spins. Forrest spins out. That's the 10-time Scottish champion, Ian Forrest. Well, it looks as though his race at Thruxton is effectively finished. He's going to rejoin the race, but well down. Now, we're in car with Harvey. That's Gravett ahead in the white Sierra. And Tim, running second, only seems to have one problem, and it's called Rob Gravett. Chicane, battle for fourth, Hathaway, Bristow, Newman, and Newman's lost it! Newman's lost it! Bang! Straight into the new pit wall. Well, poor Mike Newman, second earlier on this year. Here's a replay. Now, was there contact? I don't think so, but Lawrence Bristow's on full left lock, and that is it for poor Mike Newman. Slams into the wall, back across the track, stops on the tarmac. They'll need to get the car out of the way quickly there. But Mike, fortunately, looks to be perfectly okay. And at the complex, there's Baird and Whale, and there's a spin. There's contact, there's a spin. Both off the course. Nick Whale continues. Well, he's got away well, but Baird has stopped. He's rejoining. He's lost 2 places already. Meantime, in car with Andy Rouse, and he's coming into the pits. Now, this looks like tyre-changing time at last, and it is. Up goes the car on its pneumatic jacks. On go the pneumatic tyre wrenches. Off come the old tyres and wheels. On go the new ones. Andy gesticulating from inside the car. Down it goes, back onto the track again. Andy punches the accelerator. And out goes the Ford Sierra Cosworth. He rejoins in 11th position, out of the points, and he was leading the championship. And that is what heat, 600 horsepower and Thruxton can do to the wrong compound. Blister the tread and ruin the grip. Last lap, shouts Mike Smith to the unhearing Rob Gravett. There he is on his victorious way. The right car, the right tyres, the right driver. But without sponsorship, we may sadly be seeing the last of the talented Rob for this year. And this is the battle for third. Hathaway, Bristow and Walker. Hathaway, another fine driver who's grossly underfunded. His colour scheme looks like an ordinary road car. Look at it. Plain red and white, number 14. Ford Sierra Cosworth, and it's a Ford Sierra Cosworth behind him, that of Lawrence Bristow. He hasn't got a sponsorship problem. Now, Bristow is attacking, and Hales is off. Mark Hales off in the Mitsubishi, as out of Brooklands come Hathaway third, Bristow fourth, Walker fifth. And Bristow's going for it now. This is his last chance. There's Gravett, almost home ahead of Harvey, but he's absolutely safe. He's almost home, and Mike Smith bursts a blood vessel with delight as teammate Rob Gravett wins at Thruxton. Chicane, third Hathaway, fourth Bristow, fifth Walker. Can there be a change in the closing yards of the race? The answer is no. It's Hathaway in third position. John Cleland's superb Vauxhall Cavalier is going to handsomely beat the previously unbeatable BMW M3s to win the 2-litre class. Ahead of Frank Sittner, Kurt Luby and Jeff Allen, and there they are on their way down to Brooklands for the last time, and Jeff Allen can be proud of a fine recovery from a rotten start. So it's just into the chicane now, and there's a crash, collision. Luby hits Sittner, both BMW spin. Jeff Allen goes through into second place. Sittner and Luby recover, but it is too late. And there is Andy Rouse finishing 10th for 1 point.
And the last corner has a dramatic effect on the result, and on this occasion the fault lies with the over-enthusiastic Kurt Luby, whose mistake allowed Jeff Allen an unlikely second in class. The 2-litre formula order, Cleland, Allen, Sittner, but at the front of the field, Rob Gravett from Harvey and Hathaway had proved his point to whatever potential sponsor may have been watching.
Now we needed some funds to run the car for another race. I'm pleased. Yeah, I'm pleased. I think we deserved it, to be honest with you. Thank you. But, yeah, I'm pleased. Very pleased.
No doubting that. Gravett claims third in the overall championship. Frank Sittner, despite his last corner mugging, takes over the championship lead from Andy Rouse, whose tyre problems were even greater. And with Gravett and Cleland winning their classes with great authority, the championship looks wide open. Round 4 at Silverstone, and Tim Harvey in the Labatt Sierra gets the best start, leading the field through Copse. And behind him, Frank Sittner has made a storming start in the 2-litre class. Murray Walker once again.
On towards Maggots, 145 miles an hour. Tim Harvey leading. Then it's Walker, Gravett and Rouse absolutely together into Beckett's. And look at Gravett in the white Sierra. He's taking Sean Walker. Going through on the outside. No, he's not. He's down to fourth. Andy Rouse goes through, and Sean Walker. Now we are in car with Rob Gravett down the club straight, 160 miles an hour. And that is Rouse on the left. Gravett stays ahead, though. Down to Brooklands, second gear, about 60 miles an hour. And Rob Gravett is in second place. Andy Rouse is in third position. Then it's Sean Walker. And Rouse goes through. Andy Rouse goes through and up into second place. Gravett is third, Walker is fourth, Newman is fifth, and Graham Good is in sixth position. Here they come, out of Bridge Corner. There's Tim Harvey, Rouse, Gravett. Now we're in car with Rob Gravett. Ahead of us, Andy Rouse, over 550 horsepower. Fifth gear, 135 miles an hour. Down into third gear for Copse Corner. So it's Harvey, Rouse, Gravett, Walker, Newman, Good, and Lawrence Bristow up into sixth position, past Graham Good on the inside. And this early in the race, Tim Harvey has broken the lap record. 1 minute, 9.9 seconds, 98.3 miles an hour. There is Andy Rouse in second position. Behind him in the white Sierra, Rob Gravett third. Then Walker, Newman, Bristow and Good absolutely together. Back with Rob Gravett. Now he's making no impression at all on Tim Harvey and Andy Rouse. Into the left-hander, and Brooklands goes, and Rouse loses it. Rouse spinning. Rob Gravitt goes up into second position. Sean Walker to third. Newman, Bristow and Good together. Andy Rouse stationary. So let's look at it again. The back of the Ford Sierra drifts out. Off goes Andy Rouse, on goes Rob Gravitt, and Rouse rejoins, but he's down to 17th place. He's got a big recovery job to do. This should be good. Meanwhile, in the 2-litre class, the 1988 British champion Frank Sitner in his BMW leads John Cleland's Vauxhall Cavalier there. He won his class at Thruxton. Jeff Allam's BMW is third in class. And here's Tim Harvey out on his own. A superb drive. The 20 points he'll get for winning, if he wins, are going to come in handy. And it looks like the ex-karting champion has got it made. Out of Bridge, Andy leading the championship in 1990 in his class, but he's losing out to Harvey today. And here is Frank Sitner. And there goes Andy Rouse past him, up into 7th place, but Frank Sitner still leads his class. Rouse still no faster than Tim Harvey, who is leading. Now, in car with Frank Sitner, out of Copse. And look at Andy Rouse rocketing away in the Ford Sierra. Here he is. Harvey leads, Gravitt second, Walker third, Bristow fourth, Good fifth, Hathaway sixth, and Andy Rouse number 1 in 7th position and closing. And that's Tim Harvey, the race leader, into the pits. He's obviously in trouble. I don't know what it is, but that's Andy Rouse taking Hathaway. But poor Tim Harvey, victory firmly in his grasp, but now into the pits and clearly out of the race.
120 degrees. The car felt fine, tyres were good, the car was going perfectly okay, and then all of a sudden temperature just shot off the clock, which is a pretty sure sign that the head gasket's on the way out, so I just shut it off rather than damage the engine anymore. But, yeah, one of those things.
So, here come the 2 litres. There is Jeff Allam, behind him Tim Sugden, over the line. They're making a terrific race of it. The Cavalier, the 3 2-litre BMWs. Into Copse. Cleland, Allam, Tim Sugden. And at the end of the lap, Bristow is being caught by Andy Rouse. Andy Rouse is going to pull out from behind Bristow's slipstream. He goes through. Rouse goes up into 3rd position. What a terrific drive by the 4 times British champion. He's now 3rd, 12 points out of Brooklands. Gravitt has lapped everybody up to 6th. Behind him, 7th position, Sitner. Then Cleland, Allam, Sugden and Sean Walker in the background is coming up. He's 2nd overall. Through the new complex they go. Now look back and let's see if we can spot Sean Walker. There he is, out of Bridge. Walker, he's driving an excellent race, and if he finishes 2nd where he is, it's going to be his best position yet in the SO Championship. Now he's lapped Sugden, laps Jeff Allam. He's up to Cleland, into Copse. So Cleland has got Walker right behind him, and we're with Cleland now, and there goes Sean Walker in the Ford Sierra Cosworth, lapping the Cavalier. Now they're coming up to Beckett's, and Cleland closes right up on Walker on braking, tucks up behind his boot lid, but now Walker can get that 550 horsepower down, and he does so. Down the club straight, powers away. Brooklands, Gravitt out on his own. But here come the 2 litres and Walker. Sitner, then Walker, 2nd in the A class, then Cleland, Allam and Sugden is trying to go through, and he locks up, hits the curb. Oh dear, he recovers, but he's blown it. Jeff Allam has got clear. Down to Copse. Frank Sitner is still unlapped by Andy Rouse, but he's not going to be for very much longer. There goes Andy, that's Sitner in front of him. And Bristow is past Allam. Lawrence Bristow, there he goes, past Allam, as Andy Rouse goes into Beckett's. He's still behind Frank Sitner, but he's coming up to the club straight, and this is where Ford horsepower will pay off. Here it is, we're with Sitner now, and there goes Andy Rouse, straight past him. what power! Terrific! And Andy's getting it all down now. This is where he spun off. Not this time. Brooklands, Rouse, Sytner, Bristow, then Cleland, Allam, Good. Lap 23, and Rob Gravitt in the lead is starting to wind down, and that's Nick Baird onto the grass. Motor's on, but there's going to be a big job for the body shop tomorrow. Look at it. Andy Rouse is closing on Rob Gravitt, the leader, and Sean Walker second overall, but neither of them looks to be in trouble, but Andy is. There's a bit of trim loose at the back, but that should not affect his performance. He is charging hard. The car looks perfectly all right apart from that, but it looks as though Andy's going to have to be satisfied with 12 points for third place. Well, that's not bad. So, Andy Rouse powers on. Sean Walker is getting closer all the time. There he is in the multicoloured Ford Sierra Cosworth. But Rob Gravitt is obviously pacing himself to victory. He knows exactly what the score is. He knows that there's just one lap of the national circuit to go now. Over the line, last lap, Rob Gravitt leads. Down to Copse. And that is Good Sierra. He was in 5th position. We're with Frank Sytner. And Good Sierra has blown a turbo just as it did in practice, just as Mike Newman, his teammate's car, did in practice. And John Cleland has got to motor through this enormous smokescreen. There he is, he's doing it, we're with him, and he's going to be very worried about Jeff Allam. Is he going to come diving through? No, he's not. Yes, John, you're still second. And meantime, into the pits comes Graham Good. 5th with a lap to go. Poor Graham. He does have the most awful luck. But out of the smokescreen, last lap comes Rob Gravitt, winning round 4 of the Esso British Touring Car Championship of 1990 here at Silverstone. Walker closer, but not close enough. This is the last corner for Rob Gravitt in the absolutely plain, unsponsored Ford Sierra Cosworth. That's it, over the line. Rob Gravitt wins, Sean Walker second, Andy Rouse third, just 6.3 seconds between the 3 of them. But the 2-litre battle is going on for second right up to the flag. That's John Cleland in the Vauxhall Cavalier, ahead of Jeff Allam's BMW. We're with Cleland. Coming up to the last corner now. Jeff Allam behind him, but Cleland finishes second in class behind Sytner with Allam in 3rd position.
2 out of 2 for Gravitt. Sean Walker's 2nd place, his best touring car result to date, and a very encouraging class win for Frank Sytner after the BMW had lost out to Vauxhall in the previous round.
We were frankly surprised by the pace of the Vauxhall at Thruxton, so really we've brought forward our effort in a sense. And I think, we should be... we should be challenging very hard right through the season. Frankly, that was much easier than I anticipated. I suspect that the Vauxhall was having trouble on the slow corners. It was easy for me to pull away out of the hairpins. And of course at Thruxton there aren't any hairpins, so it perhaps indicates that the Thruxton result was something of a freak, I think.
But the championship now building up very nicely. Those 2 wins for Rob Gravitt, moving him to within 4 points of Frank Sytner, with Andy Rouse rather struggling to keep in touch in 3rd. The 5th round at Alton Park in Cheshire, one of the most picturesque yet demanding circuits in British motorsport, especially on the damp kind of day that confronted the drivers. Vauxhall were doubling their commitment to the championship with a car for the former champion Chris Hodgetts. Minor problems meant it missed practice, so had to do a routine handful of laps to qualify for a place on the back of the grid. This is a rear-wheel version of the successful Cavalier, teammate John Cleland having achieved his championship position with front-wheel drive.
I feel at the moment the front-wheel drive car is a better balanced car. The whole idea of Chris driving the car now is that we get some race experience with it and try and develop the car within a race. I still think that the front-wheel drive car it has a better balance and therefore is quicker through the fast corners. The car is not quite so good as the BMW is through the slow corners, but what we lose there we more than make up for in the fast ones. So at the moment I prefer the front-wheel drive car. But I'll tell you after today.
The conditions, damp yet showery, produce the regular slicks versus wet weather tyre choice for the drivers. Much debate, although Mike Newman, second from the right there, has already achieved pole position in the Listerine Sierra. Andy Rouse and Tim Harvey qualifying respectively second and third. And in fourth place, the double winner from the previous 2 rounds, Rob Gravitt, having a really close look at the rapidly drying track before opting, like most of the rest of the field, for slick, dry weather tyres. So the intermediates come off, the slicks go on. Frank Sittner remains a little coy about his precise choice, but elsewhere on the grid, feverish activity before the cars set off on what is apparently going to be just one warming-up lap. Mike Newman has already set the field on its way. Sean Walker there drove so well into second place at Silverstone, and the 2-litre cars leaving the pit lane. Full grid lineup, Newman achieving his pole position with one perfect lap that he never came close to repeating in practice. Rouse alongside him, needing a good result to keep his championship alive. Tim Harvey and the 4-man Rob Gravitt on row 2, Walker and Good on row 3, and Cleland once again leads the 2-litre qualifiers. Round 5 of the SO British Touring Car Championship, once again, Murray Walker.
For the first time in his touring car career, Blackburn's shoe tycoon Mike Newman is in an excellent pole position. Next to him, the redoubtable Andy Rouse. And that's Tim Harvey from Burford, third on the grid. And now we're inside John Cleland's Vauxhall Cavalier, but John's got a problem.
Tell me when they go green.
And lucky for John, he's in touch with his pits by radio, and they tell him. But he's slow away, and there's a bit of a nudge from the back there. He's onto the grass. Frank Sittner goes through, and at Old Hall, it's Rouse, Gravitt, Newman, Hathaway, Harvey and Walker. Then the 2-litre cars, in car with John Cleland. Ian Forrest BMW ahead of him, out of Old Hall, down to the fast left-hander at Cascades. And at Cascades, it's Rouse, Gravitt, Newman, Hathaway, Harvey, Walker, Bristow, Frank Sittner going through. In car with Gravitt, second, Rouse ahead. Round Island Bend, you can see a dry line there. It's been damp this morning. They're doing about 150 miles an hour as they go up to Shell Corner. This is where they are, second gear, 50 miles an hour. Rouse, Gravitt, Newman. In car with John Cleland, and he's off. He's onto the grass. He's lost it. No adhesion, no way he's going to stop. Straight into the tar wall. I can't ever remember John crashing a race car before, and he's been racing for nearly 20 years. Oh well, back out. Try again. What about the car? It sounds okay. Sounds okay. John fishing for gears a bit. Gets going and it looks okay. That tyre wall really did its absorption job well. Druids, Rouse leads, Gravitt second, Newman third, Harvey fourth. Then it's Hathaway, Walker and Bristow together. Lodge corner. In car with Rob Gravitt. Down to Lodge at 130 miles an hour. Now round the corner into Deer Leap. Fifth gear, they build up to 135 miles an hour as they come out of this. But at the end of the lap, the track still looks damp. Rouse is leading. Gravitt in second place in the white Sierra. Then it's Newman in the black one. Harvey fourth in the blue Sierra. Round the right-hander at Old Hall, and Gravitt is really pushing for the lead. But Rouse has got it. This is Cascades. Put the power down. Up to Island Bend, the left-hander with the water on the left. There goes the cue. It's a blistering pace. Now, this is a replay of John Cleland at the start. Excellent 8th on the grid. Fastest 2-litre. Graham Good ahead of him. Gets going. There's a little bump from the back. Onto the grass. Frank Sittner goes through. Now up to Old Hall Corner, the first right-hander. Ian Forrest BMW ahead. And it's all traffic. He's onto the grass again there. He's shaping up to try and get past Forrest. Coming down to Cascades. There's Mark Hales' Mitsubishi going through on the right. Now this is Cascades. Cleland coming up. He's going to take Forrest in a minute. He's going to bob out from behind the boot lid of the BMW, and he does it. And now he's going to try and take Mark Hales. There's another BMW in front of him. Out round Island, and this is where he's onto the grass. It's damp, there is no adhesion, his tyres won't hold, the windscreen wiper's going, here comes the tyre wall, and zonk, he's into it. Whoa, but up at the front, Andy Rouse leads Rob Gravitt, the two top men of 1990. Between them, they have won all 4 races so far, 2 each, very closely matched into Fulstons. Second gear, 60 miles an hour. Now up to the crest. Down to Knickerbrook, the fastest part of this magnificent circuit at Alton Park. Rouse leading, Gravitt second. Well over 550 horsepower from their turbocharged engines. And that is Netta Lindgren, the woman Swedish driver, out of the race, the leaders. And it's difficult to see how Rob Gravitt is going to be able to catch Andy Rouse and get past him now. Down to Lodge, 2 wins each. Here's the right-hander at Lodge coming up, and Gravitt is challenging, and Gravitt is through. Rob Gravitt goes through, magnificent manoeuvre, through on the inside to lead as they complete the lap, and the pit crew from Trackstar is overjoyed. Gravitt, Rouse, Newman, Harvey. And the third and fourth men are still very close together. It's a clear track in front of Rob Gravitt, and there are the BMWs, the 2 litres, and the Mitsubishi. Marnie, Hall, Hales, Forrest, Baird, Whale, Chalmers, and now we're with Jerry Marnie. He's leading this pack. It looks peaceful when you're with him, but it's all action behind, and here are the leaders. No quarter. Rob Gravitt in the White Sierra leading. Rouse second. Mike Newman is still holding off Tim Harvey, third and fourth. So now, up to Druids, the right-hander. Can Andy Rouse do to Rob Gravitt what Gravitt has done to him? Take him at Lodge. They're using different makes of tyre. It can make all the difference from now on. It's still Newman in third position. Still Tim Harvey in fourth position. Then Sean Walker. They're all in Ford Sierra Cosworth turbos. 2 litres, turbocharged. Terrific power. And Gravitt needs all of it to keep ahead of Andy Rouse. There goes Newman, that's Walker. Now the non-turbos, they're close too. Marnie, Hall, Hales, Forrest, Whale, Chalmers. Into Daly. In car with Marnie. He's leading this batch. And it looks damp. Yes, it is damp. He shows us where it's damp. Going in, and that's Cleland. Cleland locks up. He's done it again. John Cleland's done it again. And he's made a real job of it this time. Wow. Lucky he's got a reverse gear. Backwards onto the track. Bumper off. That's made the car a bit lighter anyway. Now, John Cleland has had virtually no sleep for a whole week because of all things he has had non-stop hiccups. It must have exhausted him. He must be furious. This is most unlike John Cleland. Now here's a replay. Out of Druids. Up into fourth gear. Down into third gear. Lining up the car. Now the tyres are locked up. No way he's going to stop. In for the second time. Here it is from the outside. And you can see straight in. And this time he really has damaged the Vauxhall Cavalier. Look at it. But amazingly, the car seems okay. And he's dragging a brake cooling pipe. Jerry Marnie. Winker going. He's touring. Jerry Marnie's in trouble. But now we're with Harvey, straight past Mike Newman into third position. So Marnie to the pits. I'm not surprised. Up comes the engine cover. It sounded a bit rough as he went past. Well, there's the BMW 4-cylinder engine. And here is John Cleland, that brake pipe hanging by a thread, and he's really struggling to keep up with the Vauxhall. Look at it. So there, third, fourth, fifth, it's as close as that. Harvey, Newman, Walker, Marnie out of the pits. Now that engine sounds like old boots to me. Really rough. Look at him prodding at the accelerator. They're all streaming by. Marnie rejoins the race. And it doesn't sound at all happy. Out of Deer Leap, down into Old Hall Corner. Now the drop down to Cascades. There's Sittner in front. You can see there's not much of a gap between the 2-litre class leader and second and third. Here they are. Now up to Island Bend. This is very, very quick too. The course is drying out all the time. They're on slick tyres. Newman and Bristow. Then Newman's in trouble. Something's come off. Oh, look at the left rear. The same thing has happened to him at Oulton Park as happened to him at Silverstone. He has blown the left rear tyre. And that's rotten luck for Mike Newman as his teammate Graham Good goes through. Now here's a replay. Let's see if we can see what happened. Newman's car jinks, something flies up at the back. That's because the tyres exploded in the wheel arch. Look at the debris flying off. Bristow pulls out, Newman tucks in. And look at the back of the Ford Sierra and just look at that tyre. There it is, off the car, and no wonder Mike Newman had to come in. Absolutely shattered. He's got a new tyre on, he's leaving, but he's lapped. He's down to 22nd place. And here are the two BMWs battling for second in the 2-litre class. In the blue and white one, it's Jeff Allam. He comes from Lee in Surrey. The man who won the TT in 1986. Been driving for 21 years. Terrific drive from young Tim Sugden, comes from Bradford. This is only the second time he has driven for the Works ProDrive BMW team. Comes from kart driving and Formula Ford. And he's taken to touring cars like a duck to water. He's attacking Jeff Allam now. He's trying for second in the 2-litre class with Frank Sittner not all that far in front of them. And he's through. We're looking back now from Tim Sugden's BMW at Jeff Allam's car. There it is on the left. Up to Shell Hairpin. Now you can see what a BMW M3 looks like when it's doing at about 130 miles an hour. Look at those big wide tyres. Through Fulstons. Now they're coming up to the fastest part of the course. Nearly 140 miles an hour for these 2-litre cars. That's quite incredible. Up to Knickerbrook. The fast, sweeping right-hander before Clay Hill. This is it. And there's Sugden, second in class. Jeff Allam down to third in class. And that is not a rebuilt John Cleland Cavalier. That is Chris Hodgetts in a second rear-wheel drive Vauxhall Dealer Sport Cavalier. He started from the back and he's being lapped by Rob Gravitt. Rob Gravitt goes through. Now we're with the race leader, Rob Gravitt, coming up to the closing stages of the race, up to Shell Hairpin. There is Andy Rouse. He's still only a second or so behind Rob Gravitt. It's been fast and furious for the whole race, but Andy Rouse cannot get up to Rob Gravitt, let alone get past him. Ray Arms in the pits. Looks as though his Honda Civic has got a problem, and so has Ian Forrest. It's busy in the pits. New tyres for the BMW. Gravitt leading, Rouse second, into Old Hall. They've both got to get past Frank Sittner. The lead could change here. Down into Cascades. Sittner, Gravitt, Rouse in second place overall. 2 wins behind him. And Rob Gravitt has got 2 wins too. But what's important now is what is going to happen as the 2 Fords come up behind the BMW at Shell Hairpin. There's Gravitt leading the race. Ahead of him, the BMW of Frank Sittner. Behind him, the Ford Sierra of Andy Rouse. And that is it. Here they come. Go through, says Frank Sittner. And they go through. Through Fulstons. Now up to the crest. Foot hard down. Terrific stuff, this. 145 miles an hour, but for Andy Rouse, catching is one thing, getting past is another. He has caught Rob Gravitt. They're up into Druids. Now on the way to Lodge, and in front of them, another BMW. Godfrey Hall, he is touring though. He's going to pull over and let them through, I think. Yes, he has. So, Godfrey Hall is passed. Frank Sittner has been lapped. Into Lodge. Through to complete the lap. And Rob Gravitt really needs this win because his Trackstar team need the money. And this is the last lap, out of Old Hall Corner, down to Cascades. Rob Gravitt is really trying. Whoops, he locks up the left front. Andy Rouse right on his boot lid as they come up to Island Bend. That's John Cleland, still rolling, but almost last now in the Vauxhall, after all his problems. Last lap, last time round Shell Hairpin. Rob Gravitt leads, right behind him Andy Rouse. Marvellous stuff. Rob has done the fastest lap. 1 minute 38.7, 100.9 miles an hour. Through Falstons, absolutely together. If either of them misses a gear or misses an apex, it can change the complexion of the whole race. There's not much of it left now. This is Knickerbrook. And that is a dispirited and exhausted John Cleland, gloomily watching the remains of the race. There's his Vauxhall Cavalier. Here are the leaders. Coming out of Druids. They're both very much in the race. And Rob Gravitt surely must win it. Down to Lodge for the last time. Into Deer Leap for the last time. I can't see how Andy Rouse can possibly get past him. He is not going to. It's going to be a third win for Rob Gravitt and the Trackstar team. It is a third win. Andy Rouse finishes in second place. And it's been a battle for supremacy every inch of the way. Frank Sittner winning the class and retaining his overall British Championship lead. Round the last corner, and there is Tim Harvey finishing in third place overall. Frank Sittner retains his championship lead then after, as ever, a super race at Oulton Park.
One of the best of the championship so far, but it completes a hat-trick of wins for Rob Gravitt, who's now taking a real grip on Class A. Andy Rouse tried everything he could in second. A lonely third for Tim Harvey. Sean Walker's having a good season, figuring well in the championship. Lawrence Bristow taking fifth, and a tough battle between Hathaway and Good for sixth. Hathaway coming out in front. But a perplexed Andy Rouse, 2 wins this season, but now Rob Gravitt has 3.
Andy made me work for that really right from the start. I thought I might have been able to pull out after about 10 or 12, lap 10 or 12. No way, he had me on my toes all the time. That was the hardest race I've had for a long time. It's hard work out there.
By contrast, a shell-shocked feeling in the Vauxhall camp. John Cleland claims he's never crashed a race car before, and here he's gone off twice in 3 laps. A couple of rounds before, Vauxhall were mounting a real challenge to the BMWs, and that challenge will surely come again. But now Cleland is slipping behind in the 2-litre class, and also he's slipping behind in the championship as well. On Grand Prix Day at Silverstone, following the heroics of Nigel Mansell, it was round 6 of the Esso British Touring Car Championship, and not many of the 100,000 crowd were tempted to head for home, because this prestige race promised to be the most competitive of the championship season so far. A 24-car grid, with on the front row Rob Gravitt on a run of wins that makes him the class of the field. But these are the 2-litre runners who are making most of the excitement. Defending champion John Cleland on the left here, with a bit of work to do to close the gap on the class leader Frank Sittner and the championship leader Gravitt. Gravitt on this occasion beaten to pole position by a storming lap from Andy Rouse, but Gravitt out to get his 4th successive win. Tim Harvey qualified the Labatt Sierra 3rd alongside Graham Good. Then came Mike Newman and Lawrence Bristow. Mike Smith found the backing to make a return to the championship. And then came the 2-litre runners, headed by the flying Vauxhall Cavalier of John Cleland, with Frank Sittner only 5th fastest in the class. So round 6 of the Esso British Touring Car Championship, and Murray Walker saw them off the start line.
On the left, Andy Rouse. On the right, Rob Gravitt. 15 laps of Silverstone, and this is it. Rouse leads. A terrific start by Mike Newman from row 3, up to 2nd on the run into Copse. Copse corner, Rouse leads, Newman 2nd. Rob Gravett in third place. In car with Rob Gravett, Mike Newman ahead, Andy Rouse ahead of him, up to Maggots at 140 miles an hour. Round Maggots, Rouse, Newman versus Gravett for second. Sean Walker is fourth, Tim Harvey is fifth. Out of Beckett's, in car with Gravett, up to fourth gear. Round Chapel, up to fifth gear. Down the Hangar Straight at 150 miles an hour to Stowe Corner. Rouse leads, Newman and Gravett together. Then it's Walker and Harvey. And Gravett is going through. Gravett up to second, past Mike Newman, round Stowe. Now down to Club Corner. This is 140 miles an hour. It's Andy Rouse leading ahead. Up to fifth, down to fourth, 95 miles an hour. Out of Club, Rouse, Gravett, Newman. And it's three abreast behind, look. And onto the grass goes Bristow, over the curb. And behind them, John Cleland's Vauxhall Cavalier is leading the 2-litre class from his teammate Chris Hodgetts. Now, this is a replay of the start from Frank Sittner's BMW, 14th on the grid. It's a demon start. Past Jeff Allen, that's Jeff Allen's BMW. There's Kurt Luby's BMW, Frank Sittner's teammate, down to Copse at 90 miles an hour. Into the right-hander, Kurt Luby chasing. Now, up through the gears, accelerating hard towards Maggots, fifth gear, 130 miles an hour. There's Luby. And Allen, Jeff Allen on the right. Onto Chapel. Fourth gear, 120 miles an hour, down the Hangar Straight. Luby on the left, Allen on the right. Allen is breaking away from Luby. We're with Frank Sittner, and Allen is gaining. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. Don't touch me. And he has. Go away. Bang again, and he's through. Jeff Allen goes through, passes Frank Sittner. Kurt Luby still chases, and at the end of the lap it's Rouse leading, Gravett in second place, Mike Newman in third position. Then there's a gap. Harvey, Walker, Good, Smith and Bristow. Round Copse, down to Maggots again. Rouse and Gravett have broken clear. The battle is on between the 1990 winners. Andy Rouse has won twice this season. Rob Gravett has won 3 times. They're in the same type of Ford Sierra Cosworth, but they're using different tyres. And here they are, round Chapel, down the Hangar Straight. Rouse in the lead. Gravett in the white Sierra Cosworth challenging right behind him. Mike Newman is third. And now we're back again with Rob Gravett into Stowe. Trying for the lead, trying to get inside Andy Rouse, but Andy Rouse hugs the apex, accelerates away, down to Club Corner. Here they are, coming out of it. Just about together. Rouse leading, Gravett second, Mike Newman still hanging in there. Tim Harvey is fourth, Sean Walker fifth, Graham Good, number 15, sixth. Up to Abbey, the fastest part of Silverstone, 145 miles an hour. In car with Rob Gravett, down to second gear for the new complex at Bridge, into the left-hander. Out of it to start another lap of Silverstone. Third gear, fourth gear, up into fifth. Down the straight, on towards Copse. We're in car with Sittner. That's Luby behind and Godfrey Hall. But Jeff Allen and the 2 Vauxhalls are still ahead. Into the lap. Sittner with the blue strip. Luby with the red strip. Over the line. There go the 2-litre leaders. Cleland, Hodgetts, Allen. And into the pits comes Mike Newman from a fine third place. Now that's another bit of rotten luck, just like Oulton Park. And it's obviously an engine problem. Mike Newman, very unhappy. More oil. And look at the 2 litres. Cleland, Hodgetts, Allen. The Vauxhalls first, second, and the BMW third. And Allen going through in the ex-Bugatti BMW up into second place in class, past Chris Hodgetts. Down the start and finish straight. Now, Hangar Straight. These are the leaders. Rob Gravitt harrying Andy Rouse. There is nothing in it with the cars and drivers. Tyres are probably going to decide this race. And here they come, down to the right-hander at Club. Rouse, Gravitt tucked up behind the Ford Sierra Cosworth, and now we're in Sytner's BMW, and that's Kurt Luby behind. And down the Hangar Straight come the 2 litres, Cleland leading, Allam second, Hodgetts third. Kurt Luby now ahead of Frank Sytner, and Godfrey Hall is 6th in the class. Bridge, these are the leaders. Rouse, number 1, Gravitt, number 11 in 2nd place. Harvey keeping a watching brief. Here come the 2 litres, and Mike Newman is touring, engulfed by a terrific 2-litre battle. Here it is, coming up to Abbey, chasing Dennis Leach in 8th position. Cleland, Allam, Hodgetts. The Vauxhall is beating the BMWs. Bridge. Now there's Dennis Leach. Cleland. Number 50, the British Touring Car Champion of 1989. Jeff Allen behind him. Then it's Chris Hodgetts in the 2nd Vauxhall. Through to complete another lap. Past the pits, on towards Copse. Chris Hodgetts pulls out wide, up alongside Allam, but Kurt Luby goes even wider. He's going through on the inside. Kurt Luby, number 56, but here are the leaders. And Gravitt is having a look. Watch the rev counter through the steering wheel as Rob Gravitt changes gear. Now. And Kurt Luby is climbing all over Chris Hodgetts for 3rd place in the 2-litre class. Look at it. Up to Abbey come the leaders. Andy Rouse is getting no peace at all from Rob Gravitt. In car with Gravitt. Coming up to Bridge. He's going through on the inside. He's through. They're going through absolutely together. They're touching. Andy Rouse goes on the grass. He pushes Rob Gravitt wide. Gravitt himself goes over the curb. And Andy Rouse keeps the lead, shakes his fist at Rob Gravitt. And some of the trim is torn off the Ford Sierra Cosworth. 1st and 2nd, no change. Rouse still leads, but he's really under pressure. And Tim Harvey is still there, right behind them. Copse corner, Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey. Over the line go the 2 litres. Cleland leading, Allam in 2nd place. Luby 3rd now, ahead of Chris Hodgetts. He's got through. Copse corner, Cleland, Allam, Luby going for 2nd. Kurt Luby going through, and he's through. Up to 2nd place in the class. Down to 3rd goes Jeff Allam. Over the curb goes Jeff Allam. Oh, in car with Rob Gravitt. Now he's coming down to Stowe. Is he going to try again? He's been through momentarily, passing Andy Rouse, but it didn't last for long. 140 miles an hour, 600 horsepower. Down to Club Corner. Now up to Abbey. Rouse leading, Gravitt in 2nd place. To Bridge again. On the left is Gravitt, on the right is Andy Rouse. They are absolutely together. Is Gravitt going to try again? We're with him. He's coming up to Woodcote. Andy Rouse is on the left. He's disappearing. Rob Gravitt goes through and takes the lead. Rob Gravitt leads here at Silverstone. And Andy Rouse is down to 2nd place. And Lawrence Bristow goes past Sean Walker, past Silverstone's magnificent press centre, and Graham Good passes Sean Walker to 5th. So Walker's lost 2 places in just a few hundred yards. The 2 litres at Bridge. It's still anybody's race in the class. Cleland leads it, Luby's 2nd, Allam is 3rd, Chris Hodgetts is 4th. Now, what a great drive by ex-kart champion Kurt Luby. He is setting about class leader John Cleland. So it's front-wheel drive Vauxhall versus rear-wheel drive BMW. Down to Copse. Cleland, Luby, 1st and 2nd in the 2 litre class. Allam is 3rd. Club Corner, and Rob Gravitt is pulling clear of touring car superstar Andy Rouse. It's a great day for the Trackstar team and their Mount Tune engine wizards, and their Yokohama tyres. Now, Andy Rouse is on Pirelli, Tim Harvey is on Dunlop, so it is a tyre battle too. And here they come, Gravett, Rouse, Harvey. Bridge corner, end of the lap. Rouse still in second place, and in car with John Cleland leading the 2 litres, only just though, because Kurt Luby is right behind him, and no he's not! Kurt Luby goes through into the lead, and with a 150-kilogram weight penalty for rear-wheel drive, Luby leads. Can John Cleland stay ahead of Jeff Allen? Well, now we are with John Cleland, that's Luby ahead, round the very fast left-hander at Abbey. And John Cleland will be making a maximum effort now to get the lead back in the class from Kurt Luby as they go up to bridge. On go Luby's brake lights. He's lost it. He's lost it. But he retains it. Incredible. He holds the lead, but Jeff Allen goes through. Passes John Cleland. Allen up to second place in the class. Oh. Down to Copse. Another lap completed. Over the line they go. And here they come at Copse. Luby in the BMW leading the 2 litres. Allen up into second. Cleland down to third. Hodgetts is fourth. Godfrey Hall is in 5th position. And now we're back again with John Cleland on the way to Maggots. Allen and Luby ahead. BMW leads. BMW second. Vauxhall in 3rd position. There they go. 4th and 5th, Chris Hodgetts in the Vauxhall. There he is. Godfrey Hall on the right. 5th in the BMW. At the end of the lap, Rob Gravett is still leading overall, but here is the real battle. The 2 litres. Luby, Allen, Cleland. Allen ahead. 300 horsepower through the front wheels of Cleland's Cavalier is a lot of horsepower. Going into Clough Corner. Luby in the front. Allen and Cleland absolutely together. Luby runs wide over the curbing. Cleland is fighting back. Hodgetts is still 4th. Hall is still there in 5th place. Up to bridge. The left and then the right. Here's the left. Cleland's having a look behind Jeff Allen. Dodges over to the right. Absolutely together they go. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Left, right, out of it. Absolutely nothing in it in the 2 litre class. One of the best battles of the year. We're with John Cleland again. He's on Jeff Allen's boot lid, and this could be it. Coming down to Copse, and it is it. John Cleland goes through into 2nd place in the 2 litre class ahead of Jeff Allen. In car with Cleland, thanks Jeff. But championship leader Frank Sittner is in trouble. He's got a development engine in the BMW, and it looks as though it's not there yet. In fact, it's foot power for Frank. And Frank Sittner was leading the British Championship. Oh, well, I suppose you can't win them all.
Frank, can you just ask you what the problem was? The engine. What was the matter?
Didn't work.
Thanks, Frank. And Frank Sittner strides off into the sunset, away from his broken BMW, to have a word with his ProDrive team boss, Dave Richards.
No, Vauxhall was slow as dogs after 3 laps.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Slow as dogs, Frank? Well, Kurt Luby's still got one right behind him. And it's John Cleland's sandwich between the BMW M3s of Kurt Luby and Jeff Allen. There they go, Luby leading the class. Cleland still second, number 50. Jeff Allen still third. Woodcote at the end of the lap. Luby leads the 2 litres. Not by very much, though. Cleland is there, and so is Allen. And here's the Swedish woman driver, Nettan Lindgren, and Jerry Marnie's lost it. Jerry's certainly having an exciting 1990, one way and another. Now, here's a replay from Jerry's point of view. Down through the gears. And it's goodbye, Mum. He's lost it. Restart. Back into the race. And now Jerry's fighting for last place with John Clark's BMW. Clark on the right. Now we're with Marnie again, down to Copse. Past him goes John Clark, so Jerry Marnie is last now. Out of Copse, that engine sounds rough. Up towards Maggots. And there goes Lawrence Bristow, lapping the BMWs. What a difference in performance, but what a difference in horsepower too. Brown Beckett's on towards Chapel. Jerry Marnie chasing John Clark. There's a blue flag waving there. Down the Hanger Straight. Harvey third and Bristow fourth in the two blue Sierras are lapping tail-enders, and so is Graham Good, fifth in the black Sierra. In car again with Jerry Marnie. Clark ahead into Stowe. Out of it. Clark's lost it. Is Marnie going to hit him? Mercifully, no. Clark goes into the sand trap. Rear wheel spinning. He won't get out. John Clark's race is over. No damage, though. Now, that's not the checkered flag that's going out. It's the naughty boy flag for breaking the rules. And Andy Rouse is getting it. And I haven't the faintest idea why. But Andy Rouse, number one, blazes on. Still second behind Rob Gravett.